Hey, what's good everyone? This is Air Conditioner. I make cartoons and talk about cartoons. Before we begin the video, I'd like to announce that I have a second channel out. This channel is where I'll be posting my animations from now on. Speaking of which, I'm working on a new animation on that channel. Angry Birds Halloween, Curse of the Full Moon, where the Angry Birds fight the deadly werepig and his army of monsters. Part 1 is already out, but I'm currently working on the second and final part, so if you want to check it out, go to Air Conditioner Animations. So, about a while ago, I made a video about what it was like to be an animator in college. And the thing was though, I was going to talk about how you could manage your time as well as doing your classes, but it didn't really get to that point. Because I suddenly realized that all the tips I was going to give was going to apply to everybody. Everyone's different. People have jobs, responsibilities, and other occupations in their life. Having a job and being a full-time student is hard enough. So having animation as a career/hobby is almost impossible to do. But maybe there is a way to balance college and animating, and here's how. Or at least how I did it. The first thing I'd recommend is to take shorter classes, because that way you can have more time to animate and do other stuff like studying. What I hear a lot of people do that they'll always take classes in the noon. They never take it in the morning that much. Personally, I've been taking classes at 9 in the morning, but that's just me. If you're gonna take shorter classes, that also means you have to take fewer classes. Some people take 1 or 2 classes a semester, or even online classes. I have one online class, and the other 2 classes I have is 1 hour, so that's not too bad. And if you want to be organized, you've got to set a schedule. So lately, whenever I begin to animate, I would put a timer on my phone so I know how long I'm animating for. Usually I set a timer for an hour or 30 minutes. Because yeah, you do want to animate, but you also don't want to animate for too long. You have to think to yourself, I'm gonna animate today, but at what time of the day and how long am I gonna animate for? It doesn't look like much, but setting a schedule will help you tremendously. Because this way you can study and do homework for your classes, as well as working on your animated projects. The least that I try to do is to animate at least 2 hours in the day and 2 hours in the night. This way I animate for 4 hours a day. And sure, for some it doesn't seem that much, but the important thing is to keep a consistent schedule. Another thing that you can do is write a chart. Every week you're probably going to be overwhelmed with homework and essays and tests and other stuff. But let's say if it's the weekend, or if there's a certain day that you were the least busy. You can mark these as days that you can animate more often than others. But let's say even on those days you have plans, like you're gonna go out or you're gonna go to work. And that could happen, but I feel like the least you can do is animate at least 1 or 2 hours at least each day and see how it goes from there. Keeping a consistent schedule is crucial because your body and mind will be used to the routine. For instance, sleep schedule. I had a pretty bad habit of staying late because I tried to get as much done as I could. And so because of this, I would sleep at 12 or even 1 in the morning a few times. Hell, it still happens sometimes. The average adult requires at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And the thing is that I wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning just to get to school. So in my case, I would need to sleep at 10 or 11 p.m. just to get my 7 hours of sleep. So you really need to think about what time you're gonna go to sleep and what time you're gonna wake up. And I mean, yeah, sleep matters. And unless you have school and work in the afternoon, it doesn't really matter. But at the same time though, it is important to get a good night's sleep, because then you'll wake up and you'll feel motivated enough to animate. This way, you can get a lot done before you go to school and go to work. And this goes without saying, but set an alarm. I mean, come on guys, if you're gonna wake up at a certain time to animate, then just set an alarm for that time. Like right now, every day so far I try to set an alarm for 6 in the morning just so I can get these recordings in. Personally, I feel like the tips and advice that I gave so far seems decent, but some of you probably want to see this in action to see if it actually works. Take me for example. Right now, I'm working on an Angry Birds Halloween video, right? So once I go to school, I try to animate for at least 1 or 2 hours, and then try to finish whatever I can when I get home. And I admit, there are some days where I'll just take a break or just not animate for 1 day, and that's fine, but I'm also on a deadline, so it's not really good either. And that's another thing. If you really need to take a break, then take a break. Unless you're like me and need to finish an animation in a certain number of days. but you can still take a short break nonetheless. You know, like get up from your chair, take a stretch, go for a walk, get a cup of coffee, I don't know. Do whatever you need to do to be relaxed and just take a break, and then after that's done, you go back to animating. Animating in general is hard, no matter the type. Even shows like Teen Titans Go still takes time and effort to do. It really is a very long process. It's sometimes tedious, but at the end of the day, it's kind of worth it when you see like your project finished and fully developed, and it's just a nice feeling, you know? It is honestly satisfying to see something that you finished, something you took time and worked on, and then you can show it to like your friends or family or other people. And even if it's not perfect, you still worked on it, and that's enough. At least for me it is. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, in conclusion, this is a few ways to balance your life in college as well as the animation as a career. And again, I won't guarantee this will apply for everybody, but if it applies to you, then great. And I really need to finish this animation because right now it's Thursday and Halloween is like next week. So yeah, I have like 8 days to finish this animation. 8 days. I need to lock in. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have your own way of balancing college and animation, post it in the comment section. And be sure to watch my animations on my second channel if you can. But seriously, I need to finish that animation like real quick. That being said, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.